Thank you to SnakeStone97 for their generous donation as a YouTube member. If you'd like to join them in their generosity, the link to become a YouTube member is in the description, or you can click the join button down below.
Alright.
Cool.
It gave me a pop-up about not... It seems like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Sure you want to record?
Yeah, it gets finicky when it's not doing its main thing. It's like, what the crap?
I'm guessing it's streaming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most people use OBS for streaming. Hell, even Streamlabs, which is like a multi-platform streaming assistant, they have their own partnership with OBS.
Yeah, because I noticed that once I started playing with it, Discord was like, you're streaming right now. And I'm like, to who?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Discord automatically detecting a streaming service. That's how, like, you know, in Doki Doki Literature Club, how they'd be like, at the end, they're like, it's kind of rude to not introduce me to your friends. You're streaming right now, right? Like, that's what that service is. That software is. God, that game creeped me the fuck out.
That's back end seeing how well some of your things are encrypted.
Oh, yeah.
And shit right there.
Suppose we should do an actual intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode 26 of All of the Above. I'm Vivian.
And I'm Caleb.
And this week we're continuing the trend of not just fucking hanging on current events, because that was getting depressing and monotonous. So we're just two dudes chatting about whatever happens to be on our minds. And also we've got a game planned if we have time for it. we were planning we were planning on doing it last week, but then we just got away from ourselves. By the way, it's totally on me that last week's episode was late a couple days. I believe it came out on Sunday as opposed to Friday. The doodle was all well and done ahead of time, but I kind of had a bit of a fucking weekend. I guess I should. You want to hear this? It's kind of a gross story, but it does involve a very big potential thing going on in my life.
I mean, that's what we're here to chat about, is to each other. Just a forewarning, this might get gross.
Yeah, pretty much. It involves talk of literal shit. Caleb, do you remember that day? I believe you, me, and I think maybe Kyle, or maybe it was just you and me. I don't know. I think we were at either the Chinese buffet around from your place, or what, Applebee's. Well, no, it wouldn't be Applebee's, it'd be Chili's. Whatever. We were at some fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
And I told you that I had received some ominous but unspecified medical thing from my shitty-ass doctors in Ottawa, Kansas, that refused to diagnose me with practically anything. They did blood work, and they told me that there was an underlying problem that looked severe, but they didn't know how to address it. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to be telling you a diagnosis at this point.
Yeah.
But here recently, as I've mentioned on here before, I have finally become a recipient of Medicaid. There's Medicare and Medicaid for those who are uninitiated and think they're the same thing. Medicare is a government-assisted funding for healthcare for old people. And then there's a Medicaid for low-income people. And then there's Medicare, Medicaid for poor old people. And there's also... Go ahead.
Don't feel bad if you don't know the difference. I've seen news networks get this wrong and backwards.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that there has been talks over the past couple of election cycles about trying to have universal health care, but they're calling it Medicare for all, which is not...
It's just confusing.
Yeah, because it's one, giving the impression that Medicare is a catch-all term for health insurance, which it is not, because I can tell you there are a number of things that my Medicaid does very well, but what it sure as shit does not do is a lot of fucking things. It's very limited health insurance. It's nowhere near what you could get on the marketplace or if you got it through your employer in terms of coverage. But you gotta be making and paying money for that, and I ain't making nor paying no money. So I gotta deal with outdated doctor lists and clinics not knowing where to take me, and substandard doctors sometimes, and it's a bit of a fucking mess. But hey, I'm getting more medical treatment now than I ever have in my fucking life. So about time. I actually had a therapy session today. 30 minutes for therapy. Did not last long enough.
I mean, aren't they usually only like 45 to an hour anyway?
An hour is usually standard. It can go longer, but an hour is standard. So I got half of standard. And considering I yammer about nonsense most of the time anyway, not a lot got resolved.
I'm sure they'll figure that out and give you a journal or some shit to
probably
cut through the...
Yeah, I fucking hate that, man. I was young, and the one time I was actually given any semblance of mental health treatment when I was young was some dude who didn't want to. He was like, well, if you're honest about the questionnaire, then we gotta fucking put you behind a glass door for the rest of your life. So I changed my answers because why the fuck wouldn't you? They actually had me in a facility for a while, and then after a while they were like, write down everything, and then it just didn't help me, and they never read it, and I never went back, and it was fucking dumb. But as far as right now, hold on, I gotta take a drink. Fuck. Drink that water. Make sure I'm drinking water, by the way. 8 cups a day. Because that means something.
It does something.
You gotta get hydrated. You know, it helps more than it would seem. I've actually considered getting one of those delivery water services because the tap water here tastes like eggs.
Yeah, I've noticed that, like, a few places, like, the water can taste so weird. One of my cousins, their tap water tastes like watered down coffee.
Ugh. Well, it's better than some places where the water looks like watered down coffee. Ugh, fuck. I looked at, I was watching some stuff about, like, the possible earthquakes to come out of Cascadia and the San Andreas Fault. And fun fact, one could trigger the other. Because they are right next to each other at a certain point. So it could basically send a super earthquake from Vancouver to Baja, California, which, for those who aren't aware, that's Canada to Mexico all along the west coast. Could basically destroy the entire west coast.
The Rocky Mountains could become beachfront. Yay!
Yeah.
That's a double whammy on that timeshare then.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But talk about Rocky Mountain High. But anyway, back to the literal shit. So I've had this undiagnosed as of yet a gastrointestinal problem, and everyone is passing the buck on it. The doctors down there wouldn't do anything except prescribe me some heartburn medicine, and up here, the first place I went to recommended me to a gastroenterologist in a hospital deep in Chicago that is not calling me back, and they're refusing to schedule me. So then I texted the Ask a Nurse line through my health insurance. I didn't text them. I called them. I called the Ask a Nurse line, and the lady who I talked to was like, get the fuck to an urgent care tomorrow. Like, what the hell are you talking about? 7 years of diarrhea? Are you shitting me? And yes, and that's not what I meant. Well, too bad, I got it anyway. Fuck. You know, that type of thing. Point is, it was a dire situation. And upon some research, the symptoms line up with a number of possible things, ranging from IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, all the way to colorectal cancer. And they're testing for a lot of stuff. And by they, I mean they found me in urgent care that is 30 minutes from my fucking house. But I drove there. What fucking day was it? Let me pull up my calendar. Because I want to get the timeline right on this. Because it is a bit of a shit show. Okay. So, I went up there. My appointment was at 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 29th of August. So, this really... I was worried going into it, and my stress caused the episode to be late, which is the reason I'm telling this story in the first place. But I went up there. I got there 30 minutes early because that's what they asked for. They had me sit in my car and call in, and they had the most annoying, repetitive fucking hold music I've ever heard in my life. It was a 5-second audio clip that they just repeated over and over again. There was no variation.
It makes you miss music, huh?
Yeah, like I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that shit, but no. All I got was this. But that wasn't the exact tune, but that's what I mean. It was so. Anyway, so.
At least the normal one is kind of like jazzy, so you can.
Yeah.
Tune it out and be like, oh fuck it, stop, something's happening.
Right? But fuck. But anyway, yeah. They eventually get me in there, and they got me into the waiting room to wait. Like I could have just waited in the car because the seats in the urgent care were too small for me. A common problem that I have. And have you faced this before?
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
usually
trying to introduce squats.
Squats, yeah. You get that buns of steel. So I have mobility issues. I can't walk or stand for very long. I had to stand there for like 20-25 minutes. I almost collapsed 3 times.
Because
my legs were shaking.
Chairs, like trying to make it look nicer, but benches make way more sense. And like,
yeah.
Because
there was a
someone
bench.
Couldn't like stand, they can still sit no matter their size, or lay down if they need to while waiting.
Yeah, there was a bench outside, but I couldn't wait outside. It was also like 90 degrees, so I wasn't gonna wait outside. I was about to tell them, like, can you just call me? I'll wait out in the car. Because they made me wait out there to call and tell them that I was there anyway. So why the fuck? But, nah. Eventually, everyone else in the fucking waiting room got seen. And then I went in between watching episodes of... What the fuck was playing? Oh, it was Gumball. I saw my first full episode of The Amazing World of Gumball, and it was a weird one. I don't have a clue if it's representative of the rest of the fucking show, but
we can literally discuss that after this, because I've seen most of them. I think up until the newest season.
Yeah. And then after that came on an episode of Bears, Bears, Bears or something, or We Bear Bear or whatever the fuck.
We Bear Bears.
Yeah. Not as good. Not as good. wasn't bad necessarily, but it was not as near as good. But anyway,
it's like a slice of life, but
yeah, it's slice of life pretending that what they're doing is quirky, but you've seen it on like every 80s sitcom ever without fucking bears in it. But anyway, sorry. They finally got me back there, and I had my vitals taken by this girl who seemed like she couldn't give less of a shit if I lived or died. But at that point, I don't blame her, because healthcare workers are on the front fucking lines of this whole COVID thing, and I can only imagine they already have to deal with a level of stupid. That level of stupid is like way in the past. They somersaulted over that fucking bar long ago. So, yeah.
Remember all those parents who were like, my kid had a sniffle cancer. That's what the internet told me.
Yeah, they got their diploma from WebMD, and yeah, so
now they have a reason to rush to them.
But yeah, they got me back there, and when I got seen by an actual nurse practitioner, she was very nice, very alarmed by what I told her. She didn't even pretend like, oh, we'll just test a few things. If she was like, okay, we need to test like everything. This is really bad. We're gonna get you a follow-up thing. We're gonna test this, and this. We're gonna do. They gave me 3 different tests to do. The first one was they prescribed a blood test, but I didn't do that first. What they did first was they had me breathe into a bag. This little plastic inflatable bag. Then they had me drink something that tasted like lemonade if it was made with bath water. Then I had to wait 15 minutes before I would breathe into another bag. In that 15 minutes, they went to take my blood. I did 3 vials of blood. I have to use a vein in my left hand because the veins in my arms like to hide. But the vein on my left hand is actually pretty prominent, so that was fine. They had to get someone else to come over because the person that was going to draw my blood hadn't done it from the hand before. So that didn't inspire confidence, but finally they got someone over there, and I became a guinea pig. Yay! All while cancer is dancing in my head. And they also told me that I was going to do a stool sample. They asked if I could produce a sample there and then. I was like, yeah, most moments of my life could be described as ready to shit.
I am good to go at any moment. Shit.
When nature calls, I'm on speed dial. And so they came in and they had this little plastic bowl that had kind of plastic arms sticking out of the side. And they had 3 vials and 1 larger cup. And they started giving me instructions on how to do it. And I was like, okay, so where am I going to be doing this? They said, at your house. And I was like, what? They asked if I could do it then. They left the room, came back. Another person came in and told me I was going to do the stool sample at home. A stool sample, I want to emphasize for anyone who might not possibly know or didn't get it from the context, is your shit. It is literal shit that you shit into a bowl and they scoop some out, put it in a fucking vial of some random stuff, and then they send it off to a poor lab assistant somewhere.
You put a salad bowl in your toilet bowl, shit into that.
Yeah.
Scoop some out and then give it to a doctor. Yeah. That's about...
Yeah, that's a stool sample. And so... I took it home, and immediately, every time I thought about it, I got nauseous. I couldn't fucking think about it without feeling like I was going to throw up. And I decided...
You're really you have, like, the toothbrush protector and all that shit just so you don't have to do something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not good. I'm very squeamish. I'm a lily-livered... I couldn't clean the litter box for my cat So when I was a kid, I had a cat. But anyway, so my plan was to use my morning shit to take care of that, because I always need to shit in the morning. I'd get up, do it, take it in right away. But then I just couldn't get it out of my head that I would have to wake up to do it. And I knew I would be more nauseous in the morning because I generally am. I'm just not a good morning person in general. And so the compromise came to my head. I'm usually up past 8 in the morning anyway. 8 in the morning is when they open. So I'm going to do this stool sample as soon as I can and just stay up all night, drive it over there, drop it off first thing in the morning, and be done with it. I have had diarrhea every day for every meal for the last 7 years. When I tell you that the only time I have ever had anything considered to be close to constipation was the time I needed to prove that I had diarrhea problems. The one time I knew I'd have to dig into my own shit was the one time I couldn't do it! I had to come back. I took it in there. I could barely produce anything. I was in there for a couple hours. I had to get up, go do something else, try to come back, hope to fuck that Bri didn't use the bathroom because she lives here too, and you can't have two people mixing it up in the bowl. You also can't put paper in the bowl. You can't use toilet paper in the bowl, so you have to take the bowl out, then wipe, which means you have to stand up with shit in you, shit on your crack.
Which is apparently very common. A lot of people wipe while standing up.
Yeah, I don't get that. Maybe it's people with less cheek than me. I don't know. I also wipe front to back. I've also been told that's odd. But anyway.
Because you don't want it. I just feel like that way you just don't get it on your balls. Like that's
pretty much.
That's why I do it.
I also don't want to be going back to front, slip, and wind up with my hand in the toilet water.
Or just like thumb deep in the muck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's never fun. But eventually I was like, I can't shit. I couldn't shit. I needed to, but I couldn't do it. I was having like oh god, what is it when you're trying to puke but it's like there's nothing coming up? Dry heaving.
Yeah.
I was dry heaving out of my ass.
I believe that's just called farting.
There was nothing coming out. There was no fart happening. It was just trying and nothing was happening. But it felt like it was right there, ready to go, but it wouldn't go.
There's a fucking medical paper about the effects of anxiety.
Yeah.
Right there.
Someone get on this shit. I'll be interviewed for it. Just don't ask for a fucking stool sample. So I decided I resorted to eating an entire box of microwave fried chicken.
Oh yeah, that will ungum up anyone's works right there.
Yeah. Because my thinking is, not only is that a lot of fucking protein, but that is a lot of grease.
It's grease and fiber and...
Mm-hmm. So I ate it, and, you know, it took a little while. It took like almost 2 hours. And I'm almost always in the bathroom an hour or less after eating anything. But, it took me like 2 hours, and I finally was like, I have to try. I have to get this out of me. So I went to the bathroom. I have to get this. It sounds like I'm dealing with a stubborn, like, xenomorph. Just doing that poking out of the stomach thing, but it just won't go.
An entirely somewhat related story to that comment, but it is nasty.
Oh Lord. Hold on to it. We will get to it after the end of this. So I went in there, and I had the most pitiful shit ever. Like, it was not solid, but it wasn't a gusher either. It was just boring. And
it's like soft serve.
Yep. And they gave me a fucking tongue depressor, and I had to use that, get down into the bowl of my shit. I'm getting nauseous fucking talking about it. And scoop it into the 3 vials and the fucking cup, which was like huge, and they needed half of the cup filled up. Like, I didn't even get to half. I got almost to half, and I ran out again.
So did you have to wait and do it again?
No, I was done. I sealed it up. I sealed up the vial. I put it in the bag. I sealed the bag.
I feel like those like shitty disposable salad tongs would have been much more appropriate than a tongue.
It would have been if it was like a solid piece to pick up, then sure. But we're dealing with cream of wheat here.
Be a spigot on the fucking bowl. I don't know.
Get a salad, like get a fucking soup spoon. Fucking get a ladle, a mini fucking ladle that you don't plan on ever using for dinner ever again.
Unless you really hate somebody.
Yeah. So I don't care if you wash that thing in ammonia. You're not gonna make me use it again.
It's boiled for safety, I swear.
Yeah. So I finally did it, and I stayed up until eventually I was getting really tired. I just left at 7:15 because I was like, at least if I drive, I'll wake up a bit and I can just hang out in the car as opposed to laying on my bed trying to hope to not sleep. Because I had shit in a bottle in the house.
Just chilling out. That was another question. I was like, did you have to like refrigerate it?
No. I didn't have to do that because I didn't hold on to it for a long time. But
3 in the morning. What the fuck?
You made soup? No!
Why is it next to the milk?
Is that chicken noodle? No, it's not! But anyway, so I drive up. Again, another 30 minutes. I wait until I record a video diary waiting for them to open up. As soon as they open, I call in. I tell them there's a brief confusion because someone else showed up and thought they could just walk on in. And so they walked in, and the lady was like, "Where's the stool sample?" And they were like, "What the fuck kind of greeting is that?"
It's mandatory now. Read the new COVID restrictions.
There's a bucket by the door. Observe our rules. Talk about government oversight right there. It's a bit of an overreach. But no. Eventually, I called and I was like, was that me? And then I went in and she took it. And I went back home and I tried to forget the whole thing ever happened. And then they called me a couple hours later. Fortunately, not about the stool sample. That part of this saga is fortunately over for now. They called to tell me that one of the vials of my blood wasn't able to be tested. So I had to come back in another 30 minutes to have them take more blood. Now remember, the veins in my arms can't be used. So they had to use the same vein they had just stabbed 12 hours earlier. Or 24 hours earlier. Have you ever had someone draw blood from the same vein that had recently gotten blood drawn out of it?
No, but
I was going to say, if you have to think about it, you haven't done it.
Well, I was really sick, so it went from blood drawn to intravenous in the same vein.
That is rough.
But I was pretty fucking out of it, so I don't remember.
Yeah. For the uninitiated, that shit hurt! It hurt so bad, dude! I was squirming, I was yelping, it was not fun. And it was the same duo of Clued and Clueless. But they got it, and I left again. And now, the very next day, I had to go do a physical, and they wanted blood work. But fortunately, it was at my regular clinic, and I had done blood work there a couple weeks earlier. They were able to use that, so I didn't have to get stabbed a third time. Very good, very fortunate there. But, yeah. That was a fucking mess of a weekend. So, what in holy hell is your xenomorph story?
Alright, this was back from when I was little. My mom used to work in the ER. She helped with cardiologists. Okay. She would cover for the front desk whenever they would take their break. And a dad came in with his little girl, like, he said she had to be 5-ish. And it was stomach pain and trouble going to the bathroom. Sent her back, and then apparently, because they left kind of grumbling because nothing happened. Essentially, they were told, well, she's probably just constipated. You can get this over the counter. If something bad happens, come back. Man comes back the next day with a tapeworm. A tapeworm probably as long as your arm.
Oh my god!
In a bag. And from the story he told, his daughter complained that it kept going back in.
Ah!
Like, she was trying to go, but it kept going back in, so he sat and tried to help her, thinking something... And he saw it, he grabbed it as it came out of her, and pulled it out of his daughter.
Oh my god, that's fucking...
And immediately came to the hospital afterwards.
Oh, God. I'm never having kids. Fuck it. I'm not. No. Hell no. Hell no.
And I'm like, that is horrifying. And like, weirdly bravo parenting. Like, I don't know if I'd have the strength.
Yeah, I don't know. Nope. Oh, God. Ugh, fuck. Ugh. I'm very uncomfortable.
But that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's going to remind me.
Story to be like, if you ever experience stomach pain and you can't go to the bathroom, let me know. Don't just assume you're fine.
Yeah. Here's hoping that's not the problem. Because I swear to Christ, if they give me something to induce that thing to come out of me and fucking the snake from the the Chamber of Secrets slithers out of my asshole.
And someone has to pull it out of you.
Yeah, Bri ain't gonna do that. She told me straight up if I got to the point where I couldn't clean myself, she'd hire somebody.
Take you out back and hit you with the power hose.
Oh my god, that's fucking terrible. So, weird segue. Yeah. I want to send a shout out to someone. that I'm pretty sure would not appreciate it coming right after that story.
But hell, that's what life is about.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean that's what life's about? In what context does that sentence follow that story with any level of... No, I don't want to fucking hear it.
It's an explanation I'm not ready for.
Oh, fucking Christ. Okay, I gotta compose myself. Okay. Alright. So, yeah. Dandy. I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite TikTokers. One of a very widely beloved TikToker. I don't know if you've seen him on your For You page, but I follow him. His name is Casey Hamilton, better known on there as Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah, I've seen Mr. Hamilton. Not a lot, but I do see him.
Yeah. He has had a lifelong ambition of becoming an actor, voice actor, entertainer, but he had given up his goal in order to pursue a much more stable career in teaching. And until TikTok came along, he believed that his ambition was basically done and dusted. But following this past year of TikTok being a great outlet for him and him amassing a tremendous following and tremendous support and new friends, he has made a very difficult decision, one that he's struggled with, but one that is very commendable. He has taken a leave of absence to pursue work as a voice actor, entertainer, comedian in general. The leave of absence allows so that if it does go bad, he can come back to teaching. He has the full support of all of his coworkers and his principal. He used to teach in the same classroom that he learned how to make videos in when he went to that school before. And the principal that encouraged him to take this leave of absence was his principal when he was a student and was the same principal that hired him to be a teacher. All these people, a lot of which helped teach him when he was young, knew that this is what it was destined to do and all encouraged him to do this, as well as a groundswelling of support from his following on TikTok, and people have been reaching out offering career advice, business marketing advice, and it has been a really touching example of a person who thought they couldn't have their dreams, but then serendipitously came across a platform that allowed him to reach people and now is allowing him to have a chance at his dream again. And he's doing it in a pretty safe way. He has a lot of support. He's got a backup plan in place should things go south. And I just wanted to congratulate him because that is a very difficult jump. It's a leap of faith. You know, teaching is a very stable position, and it is one that means a lot to him. He wasn't just a teacher as a backup. He does have a passion for teaching, and by all accounts was a great teacher. Not just from him, mind you, but from his students as well.
I swear I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a very difficult thing to do, to leap from a stable career like teaching into a dream but risky career in entertainment. But, you know, he's thought it through. He has the support. I'm very happy for him. I'm very glad that he's done that, and I think the message he's giving out of following your dreams and pursuing your goals, even when it's hard, I think that's a very important lesson to go out of teaching on. So I wanted to send a congratulations to him and encouragement in his future career, wherever it should take him. Na. That's my signal. That's my signal that I'm done yammering. You can now speak.
No, he's one of the better TikTok creators I've seen. Didn't really get too ego swollen like some people.
Yeah. I mean, he went on a trip over the summer where he encouraged his followers to send him money to overtip waiters and waitresses, to give to homeless people. And he wasn't, at first he was trying to show that show people where their money was going by filming it, but he was uncomfortable with it because he didn't want to seem like the people who give money to the homeless for clout.
Yeah.
So he expressed the joy that he was getting from doing it, and people were giving him like hundreds of dollars to do this, and it was just really cool to see all these. He does a lot of good. I don't agree with him on everything, and not every video he makes is my favorite or anything. He's not even my favorite TikToker. But
as you should never really agree with anyone on everything.
Yeah, because there have been a couple times where he's done or said a thing, and I'm just like, I don't like that, but it's like whatever. Nothing like controversial or like political or anything like that. The main thing was, I think at one point there was someone spouting some hateful bullshit, and he responded to it, calling it out, and then someone basically said that person responded to that with being like, well, it's my opinion, we can agree to disagree, and he responded accepting that, saying like, oh, see, we can just agree to disagree, it doesn't have to be hateful. The problem was that the dude was spouting this all lives matter and all this other stuff, and not in just I disagree with the semantics, or even just a disagreement with like the organization of Black Lives Matter, which there are beefs to be had, but he was saying some actual hateful racist shit, and Mr. Hamilton basically let him off after he pulled the agree to disagree card, which I don't know if it's just me, but when it comes to racism, homophobic stuff, homophobia, transphobia, human rights in general, I don't agree to disagree on that shit. When it comes to like economic policy, what should be the speed limit, actual politics, agree to disagree totally. But when it comes to like, should this person be considered fully human? If your answer isn't yes, like, then we don't have a difference of opinion. That isn't a discussion to be had. Maybe there is a conversation to be had, but I'm not gonna be like, I don't know. I have a low tolerance for intolerant stuff when it comes to human rights. And it's not me saying I'm perfect in that way. I've held intolerant views in my time, but I'm working to...
Wrap it up there, Grimshaw. You're ranting again.
I'm not trying to rant here. I'm giving the disclaimers.
You're just kind of circling.
I also don't feel like I was doing that. I was trying to get to the point of there can be conversations to be had about it, and if you give people a chance to enlighten themselves and you help them through that, that's good. That's what you should do. You should encourage it, not scream at people to agree with you, but if someone's making an effort. Because I've held intolerant views, and I've had to work through it and work to enlighten myself. It can be done, but it doesn't come about with being complacent or agreeing to disagree. That was my point.
Cool. Alright, we've just covered this in other episodes too. That's what, and I know we're trying to move past doing stuff like that.
Well, I mean, if it was the entire program, then yeah, that would be a thing, but I think it's an important message to let out, that intolerance doesn't have to be permanent, and complacency isn't a good response. But it's part of the overall message of congratulating Mr. Hamilton, because while I don't like every video and I don't agree with everything he's done or said, I think he's a good example, and I'm glad that he's being able to follow his dreams.
Kind of a shit time to do it, given most places are closed down, and hell, Hollywood even said they're not pumping out any new movies for a year.
Well, I mean, did you hear that AMC is going to be opening like 70% of their theaters so that they can be open in time for Tenet?
I thought they weren't doing Tenet because it was... No, wait. I thought Tenet was Universal, because I thought they banned Universal films.
I don't know what... I don't know. AMC is the theater.
Yeah. AMC got into... and Universal had a disagreement on movie rights. And AMC said, fuck you then, we will never show a Universal film ever again.
Wow, I did not know about that.
Mm-hmm. All over Trolls 2.
Well, I don't know. All I know is, yeah, it is a tough time, especially, you got that, you've got the TikTok ban thing that might happen.
I think there's already an app slowly taking its place called, like, something, like Byte or some shit like that.
Yeah. It's another app owned by the same company. The app is called Byte, but Byte and TikTok are both owned by the company ByteDance. And so if TikTok gets banned, Byte will also be banned. Because the ban isn't on the app, it's banning the company.
The company ByteDance, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was owned by the same company, because I didn't know what the name was. Kind of easy
I got you.
Piece it together when they share a name.
You're right.
Something will take its place, like what happened with Vine.
Yeah. I mean, hell, TikTok wasn't even a thing until they bought out, or they changed Musical.ly into TikTok. So it might be something that's already a thing that gets changed. I mean,
that no one knows about, or very few do.
Yeah. I mean, Instagram introduced Reels to try to beat TikTok again, and Twitter's thinking about doing something. Apparently, Microsoft and Walmart are thinking of teaming up to buy ByteDance. That's a weird pairing, but sure.
Remember Periscope?
Oh, fuck. I remember Periscope.
I remember, like, every big YouTuber talked about it at one time, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah. There was, I remember, WWE wanted to be, like, on the groundswell of a new social media app, so they invested heavily in something called Tout. And they would try to be like, oh, go to Tout so you can vote on which match you want to see and all this other shit. And then Tout didn't go anywhere, and so they just stopped mentioning them.
Yeah, that's a bit of the problem with apps, is there is a shitload of them, and only a finite amount of space on people's phones. You gotta make it worth it to...
Yeah. It's like the streaming services. Back when Netflix was basically the only player in town, it had an amazing selection of a bunch of stuff that they would periodically let us watch when they weren't just taking shit off the streaming service for whatever reason. And there was always a plethora of reasons.
We're just
it wasn't
cycling, or it wasn't being watched. I was watching it, Netflix.
Yeah. But that's why, VPNs are such a good deal now, because what isn't available in America, odds are, is available somewhere else.
Usually the go-to I see on those ads is, like, Germany. Like,
yeah, well, that was the original home of Pirate Bay, wasn't it?
I think so, and now it's either Sweden or Norway, because they don't believe in copyright.
Yeah. So it's something about their laws or whatever, but
It's art, and thus you can't copyright art. I remember that was the legal,
yeah.
summed up reason.
Yeah. But yeah, so when Netflix was the only kid in town, they had all the cool toys, but then you look at the list of available streaming services now and fucking everyone's got one. And so now, if you want to watch anything more than a couple of shows, odds are you're going to have to get 2 or 3 different subscriptions. And the thing is, even if I had enough streaming services, which I don't, by the way, but if I had enough streaming services where the bill adds up to the same amount as I would pay for cable, I would still prefer the streaming services because I love on demand.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking wait to see if channel 1173 just so happens to be playing the episode of Golden Girls I want to watch tonight. It's nuts.
The only problem I've had with them lately is, one, just Hulu angers me deeply. Fuck you for streaming ads and still being more expensive than ones that don't.
Well, I pay as much for Hulu as I do for Netflix, and I have the ad-free version of Hulu.
I don't know which version of Hulu I have. I need to double check.
If it has ads, it's probably the $6.99 one or something like that.
But I have Hulu, Prime, YouTube Premium, Netflix, and I'm planning on adding Shudder as the last one.
Oh, Shudder. I don't know that one. What's that?
Shudder is horror only. So they get all of the B movies, the indie movies, all of them before they come to Netflix or Hulu or Disney.
Oh, that's cool.
Most of the people who review like movies, and when they do horror movies, they'll mention that they get it on Shudder.
Cool.
And it's only like $4 for no ads, and I'm just saying, for an independent company.
That's pretty fucking cool. Let me see what I have for streaming. I have Prime, which I only have Prime because we got it so that we could get free shipping on the fucking bed.
Like, you get free. The streaming service comes free with the free shipping. I'm just saying, it's a good deal.
And you get a free like subscription to a Twitch channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so if you got Prime, make sure you give somebody that money, because you ain't going to cost you nothing, and it gives someone support. We got Prime.
How many of these companies are owned by Amazon?
Right. Speaking of Amazon, I also have Audible. I share that account with my mom and my brother, although I barely ever use it now. I've been trying to listen to this one book forever, and it turns out it has like way more chapters than I thought it did.
Oh, what book?
Scratchman.
Never heard of it. We can talk about it later.
Yeah, it's a Doctor Who book. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Also got Netflix, BritBox, which is a bunch of British, BBC and ITV. That's their streaming service. Aaron pays for that one. Thank you, Aaron. Also got YouTube Premium. Aaron also pays for that one. You got Hulu, Disney Plus. That one's fun. We get HBO Max through Family Connection, so that's nice.
I think you're supposed to get it with Disney Plus too.
I'll have to look into that. I don't know. I know that there is a bundle you can get Hulu and Disney Plus because they're both owned by Disney.
Okay. Because I remember seeing something about like I think Starz is also owned by fucking Amazon. Like, there's so many streaming services owned by the same companies.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why Jeff Bezos is going to be the world's first trillionaire.
Slowly pushing Mensa Musa down.
What?
Mensa Musa was the world's richest man for 3,000 years.
Oh, okay.
And Bezos is slowly coming up on him.
Yeah. Ah, God, I think billionaires should be illegal. Like, at some point you gotta make money hoarding a crime. It's insane. Like, any country that has the most billionaires and also has millions of people homeless and millions of vacant houses, like...
Well, I don't think we have the most millionaires. I'm pretty sure that's India.
Really?
Yeah.
I know we have the most billionaires.
Yeah.
But millionaires, I could buy that it would be India.
Yeah, because I was talking to someone, and they were like, India, actually. And I looked it up, but it was at 3 in the morning, so I can't fully remember.
Yeah, India's wealth gap is gigantic. It's fucking nuts. I remember it was a couple years ago, they in order to get rid of, like, fake or illegal money in the system, they got rid of, like, 10,000 rupee bills. Like, how do you have
carrying that around?
Oh yeah, I was working for a family of Indian immigrants at the time, and they had some, and they didn't mail them off in time. So I was like, I guess I have this now. Damn it.
And collectors keep them for another 15 years, and
yeah, you never know.
I think we have $1 trillion, or like half a trill. It's the money that Woodrow Wilson is on. I know it's something holistically high.
I remember there being, like, a joke bill for $1 million, but I don't remember what the Wilson dollar is.
Yeah, I read about it, and it's like it's only used by either banks transferring money between each other, or governments or the government transferring money between banks.
It's the $100,000 bill. It was only printed in the 1930s. It's still legal tender, but it's not been in circulation for more than 50 years.
Just imagine there's so many people who would definitely carry that around just to wave it about.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's fucking nuts.
That's hip hop right there.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez. I'm looking at a picture of it. That is nuts. I also don't like the fact that Woodrow Wilson's on a fucking bill. Dude, he was a terrible fucking guy.
I thought he was unconscious for like a year of his...
He wasn't unconscious for a year. He had a couple strokes that left him unable to do a bunch of stuff. And so it's joked that his wife at the time was the first woman president, as she was the mediator between him and all of his legal stuff. But no, he wasn't unconscious for it. He just couldn't, like, move.
Oh, yeah, I remember. In the theory was that he was basically had no idea what was going on, and she was just making decisions.
Yeah. But still, like, what kind of ego do you have to come into World War at the last second and then make the negotiations for peace all about your ideas? Like, what a fucking douche. He was also a racist asshole, and he also believed in eugenics, and damn it. Anyway, also, without him, we would have had Teddy Roosevelt in office during World War I.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, we would have been right in there, because Roosevelt wanted into that war. So there would have been none of this last-minute fucking savior bullshit. Like, we would have been in, like, we would have been in there like shareware. Ugh.
Probably would have changed the way our economy works, given World War I really set us as a yeah, we'll sell to basically everyone until we're forced to.
Basically, yeah. I mean, that was our policy leading into World War II. That's how we claimed to be neutral, even though we really weren't.
We're
But
neutral
yeah,
because we sell guns to everyone.
yeah, except those we don't like. I
And
mean,
even
hell,
them, like, just don't ask some people.
yeah, like, oh Christ, but yeah,
Okay, the Oliver North shit and things like that.
what got me was like Pearl Harbor was spurred on not because of Japan's loyalty to Germany, but because we stopped buying their oil. Like the pact between Japan and Germany obviously had a huge part in it, but America stopped buying oil from Japan, which didn't give them enough money to have a stable front moving in against Russia. And so they attacked us. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? It was dumb, but in all honesty, yeah, it.
Because honestly, if you think the Japanese didn't really fear dying, the Russians
Oh, yeah.
really didn't care about their people.
It's like the disillusionment between a millennial going up against the disillusionment of a Gen Z. Like, both of us want to die, but one of us is willing to take us both out.
And one of us has people behind us willing to shoot them if they don't try.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. But anyway.
I knew that was just. I never knew the full reason, but I knew it was disingenuous because I found an article that the U.S. was congratulating Japan on its brilliant tactic of essentially the same thing Pearl Harbor was.
Yeah.
But against the Russians.
Yeah, it's because we were pretending to fucking be neutral, but all of our military power was being sent to the Allied powers, and we took funding away from the Axis powers. We did it as long as we could. We spun those plates as long as we could because we needed to get the fuck out of the Depression. But as soon as someone got tired of our shit, we're like, fine, we'll kill you. And then Harry Truman dropped the bombs.
Gotta pull the pistol.
Yep. Then Truman dropped the fucking nukes, and yep.
The Cold War started. Well, the Cold War started when we supported the white Russians instead of the red, and it's a whole different global politic conversation.
Yeah, basically the Cold War started in like the 1900s, like 1900. Like, wasn't the Tsar killed in 1909?
I think so.
Yeah.
And there was children. Most of the U.S.'s problems can be funded back to we need to keep our noses out of other people's business.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, this country has a motto of like, bring us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, the big melting pot of the world. But there has been no period in our history where we were unabashedly open to immigration. Unless it was us immigrating to America, like making the country as it's, like when we showed up. That was the only time we were like, yeah, let's all come over here. And then as soon as
you're like, you're French, fuck off.
Oh yeah, the French, the Irish, which is hilarious because we wouldn't
Germans.
Yeah, the Germans. We would not have won the revolution if it wasn't for the French, but we treated the French like shit. And then, like, right after that, of course, you have the slave trade. You've got the Chinese Exclusion Act. Angel and Ellis Island were basically hazing grounds for, like, do you really want to be here? Like, that's why the mafias became a thing, because immigrants had to stick together by any means necessary. Fuck, man. Like, and now there was I think there was a poll during the Syrian refugee crisis where more Americans were less open to Syrian immigrants now than they were to Jewish immigrants during World War II, or was it more? I don't know. Point is that the numbers were like oddly close, and it makes you realize, like, even during a time where we knew, because we didn't know the entire time, but at some point we knew the absolute atrocities that were going on in Hitler's Germany. Not all of them. We found out the full extent once we actually got there and fucking destroyed Germany. I think
spies and letters don't really give full-on essence of what's going on.
But yeah, a lot of the American public, during the time where we knew that there was ethnic cleansing and genocide happening in Germany, was still like, yeah, but do they have to come here? Like, it was so ridiculous. And what was it? Auschwitz was the place that we didn't know existed until we like invaded and were clearing everything out. Was that the one, or am I thinking of a different one? There was like,
I think it's a different one that was
yeah,
not, because Auschwitz is pretty deep in German territory.
Yeah. It was whichever one was like right on the other side of fucking Munich. But yeah, that one it was like one of the worst ones, and we didn't even know until we were cleaning everything up. We went over a hill and we were like, "Oh my god." So we didn't know everything, but I mean, just look at any fucking YouTube comment section. There's still like people who just I don't get it. I don't get it, but it's not something you're supposed to get, right? Like,
well, there's people who don't believe Finland exists.
I feel like you've told me that before, but every time I hear it, I'm still like, what the fuck?
For those who don't know, I think Rhett and Link did a whole video on it, but there is a conspiracy theory that is somewhat widely believed that Finland is a lie propagated by the Swedish and the Russians.
Christ. Let's move on from this before we fall too far down the rabbit hole.
It's that YouTube like algorithm of you just kept clicking and then you eventually get to the aliens.
There's a fantastic channel that I follow that borders on talking about conspiracy, but they actually talk about like the reality of the situation. They talk about the conspiracy theories, but they're like, mind you, none of this is provable, and a lot of this is just conjecture. But it's a very well made channel. Their editing is phenomenal. It's called Let Me Know, LEMMINO. Their most recent video about the alien stuff that happened earlier this year, or it didn't happen earlier this year, but it was openly reported on. Very interesting. It literally is only about the theories about it, and it's about what happened and the responses to it based off of the information that was shared. But it's really interesting, and when I was watching it, I was like, okay, that's weird. So I'd recommend it.
Yeah,
but
aliens are always a weird topic, because like one of the weirdest theories that people put out there was that the UN and any country signed up with the UN, there's a law that says we will not acknowledge aliens.
Yeah. That is weird, because like part of the whole alien UFO scare that was reported on earlier this year was that after an encounter, and there were recordings of the encounter, two men showed up in a helicopter, took the recordings, demanded that the original recordings be destroyed, left, and it was never spoken about again. Like that's and there are witnesses to say that actually happened, like
Some
credible
Men in Black
witnesses.
shit.
Yeah, that was some Men in Black shit. And then it was just like, all right, no one talk about this. And
and everyone listened. Like
yeah, so fuck, I don't know, but Like I said, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole.
It definitely reminds me of that joke sound going around where it's like, we all know that humans evolved from apes, but did you know apes evolved from Nazis?
Yeah. I always see those on a TikTok where it's like when you watch History Channel at 3 a.m.
Fucking right. Like, History Channel is the weirdest channel. Like, you
Yeah.
turn it on assuming, oh, it's gonna be documentaries and whatnot. Aliens, Nazis.
I mean, that was the History Channel. That was the channel that had Duck Dynasty.
I forgot. I thought that was on Arts and Entertainment.
Nah, that was the History Channel. Hell, WWE SmackDown was on Sci-Fi at one point.
I mean, that just makes sense. We all know it's made up.
Yeah, I get the Phi, but where's the Psi? There's no Psi anywhere. It's all just Phi.
They really should have like capitalized on that and brought in like a cyborg.
They did. There's man.
The Psi right there.
They had. Oh God, what was his name? Max Moon.
The Bionic Man.
Just fucking Google Max Moon sometime, and you'll see. But anyway, so we're about an hour in again. We have not
literally nothing.
Yeah, we haven't played the game yet. Do you want to play the game?
How's your back doing? Like that's
my back's doing okay, actually.
All right, let's play this game.
All right, let's play the game. So we've been trying to play this game for 2 weeks now. What this game is, we did this once before on the second iteration of All the Above when we were at our second station back when it was a radio show. And it took up the entire program. It was segmented into 4 11-minute segments, but we did the entire thing. It is 36 questions, how to fall in love. It is touted by the New York Times lists. The New York Times lists 36 questions you can ask someone if you want to fall in love or make your love even stronger. I pulled up a website that's just called 36 Questions in Love. It offers like you should drink wine now. And I'm like, we're not going to be doing that. But basically, these are questions that are touted to be able to, if you and a stranger do these questions, you will fall in love, or at least you will start to fall in love. You have a greater chance of it. So we're doing it to increase our love for each other and or see if our love is dead. So let's continue here.
This would be a great end cliff right there.
Yeah, the last episode of All the Above. We realize we hate each other, and it's going to make the Kansas trip a little awkward. I got a big update on that. Illinois filed for the executive order COVID unemployment benefits,
so
the relief fund.
Extra money?
Yeah, not only that, but they got back pay.
Awesome.
So I'm not going to say how much, but it made us way more confident in my ability to afford this trip. And that came through today, and my payment isn't even until tomorrow. So, yay. Anyway, so question number 1. If you could invite anyone in the world to dinner, who would it be? I'll start with you, Caleb. Do you want to keep it a living or alive or dead?
Let's go alive or dead.
Okay.
And I'm assuming language isn't a barrier.
Correct.
Okay. Because that would be awkward.
The Japanese. I'm not the Japanese. There is a Japanese company.
All of the dead Japanese. All of them.
No. There's a company in Japan that is developing a face mask that as you speak, will translate your words into like one of 7 different languages.
Oh yeah, I remember. I saw the price tag on it too. It's only like $40.
Yeah, like that is insane. We're
Match
getting
that
close.
with the what is it? There's an earpiece that I think
The Elon Musk
100.
thing.
No, came way before Elon was in public eye. It was it would real time translate the 7 major languages on the planet into whatever you need.
Yeah. So like we're getting close. You can't stop globalization, man. It is anyway. So, alive or dead, language barrier, not a thing. Who do you invite? Who do you have to dinner, Caleb? I got to think about this too. Confucius. Okay.
Because, like, I feel like that would be an odd conversation over whatever we choose.
That is interesting that you pick Confucius, because I was going to pick Nostradamus.
To be like, these are what you are wrong about. But you were weirdly correct on a lot of things.
Yeah, like, I just want to get into his head. I want to know what the fuck.
We can't talk. We were trying to avoid theories, Caleb. Avoid fear.
The Simpsons were wrong, damn it. August 27th was a lie.
Simpsons are a great fucking joke on the, or not joke, but example of monkeys in a typewriter.
Right. Question number 2. Would you like to be famous? And if so, in what way? Since you went first last time, I'll go first this time. Yes, I would. But specifically, I would like to, I would not like to be like Kardashians famous, because no. I would like to be like, oh God, fuck. I forgot his name. No, Christopher Sabat famous.
It's going to sound bad. I have no idea who that is.
He's the voice of Vegeta and All Might. And,
okay.
Like, people who know you really would love to see you. You get to get invited to cons. People want to say hi. But
you're really famous, but niche famous.
Yeah, really niche famous and not instantly recognizable. So I could just go to the fucking store, no one would give a shit. But, like, then people would invite me to a con and, like, give a shit if I died. Like, you know.
There's only really set times or very specific people who would give a shit about your...
Yeah.
Which makes sense when you think about it, because then you're not harassed a lot. You can go out wherever.
Yeah, but at any point you could hop on a live stream and blow someone's mind. Very, very regulative, very easy to regulate fame. That's what I would like.
I don't know. Like, because that's an odd thing to really think about, because like fame doesn't mean wealth. You can be famous and dirt poor.
Very true.
I'd go with no. Like, there's a lot of like social obligations that come with, like, why aren't you making a comment on blank, or
yeah,
you need to do blank, or why didn't you talk to this person?
I could see that.
It's just, I feel like it'd be like a lot of, like, because I don't want to like co-opt your answer and be like that.
Well, if it's true, then you can, but if you'd rather not, that's also an option.
Yeah. Like, famous after I was dead would be...
Oh, posthumous fame.
Yeah.
I could see that. You get fame for your descendants to enjoy that you don't have to deal with.
Yep.
Question number 3. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say and why?
God, no, because I freeze up even if I rehearse.
Yeah, I used to try to rehearse too, but now I just try not to, and it makes me a stuttering, blubbering mess a lot of the times, but otherwise I just get too much in my own head about it.
It's that fucking meme of being a grown ass adult and being like, "Don't make me call the doctor, mom. I don't
Yeah.
wanna." Like, there's a lot of people our age who would like rather die than make that phone call to.
Yeah, Bree is one of them. I every time we got to call somebody, unless it's like her mom, I'm the one making the call. And she makes phone calls for a living, so that sucks.
It makes me think that if you correctly marketed it and like gave away, I think professional operators could be like a line where you just text them like, this is the number I need called, this is when I can get scheduled, can you call them and just text me back the details.
Yeah, I could see that being a good business. Which is hilarious considering that's what it used to be.
But I don't think people think about it a lot anymore.
No, probably not. No. I would just prefer everything have a text option.
I think they're also one of the. This is weird because I know they still exist, but they only exist for certain things. The operator union is one of the strongest and most full of teeth union and still in existence.
Damn.
Because it honestly does not need to exist and could be automated, but there are still thousands of people. Like, if you hit O on your phone, you'll still get an operator on most those coverage plans.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Because I know Sprint had one for the longest time, and now I think Verizon has to have them because Sprint had them.
Nice. Question number 4. What would constitute a perfect day for you? You went first last time. I'll go first this time. A perfect day for me. I get overwhelmed very easily. So I think a perfect day for me would be a day where I could handle it, because some days I have more social energy than other days. I'd say a good social energy day in fall, because I that's my favorite season. I would like to go to a social gathering with just like one or two friends that is only for a small period of time that I could leave from guilt-free at any point. Because I don't like feeling like I have to stay for something. Because if I want to stay for something, I will. But if, like... That's why I don't like getting rides anywhere anymore. Because if I want to leave, I can't.
Yeah.
But, and then after that, relaxing at home, getting to eat, something I like. Maybe record if I can. Honestly, the crux of my perfect day is being comfortable and having enough energy to do whatever it is I want to do. What about you?
Like, I'm trying to make sure the time, like, fits. But, like to early spring, so, like, where it's still cold in the morning, but it warms up throughout the day, but nothing, like, never really peaks 70.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up early, have a nice breakfast, just go for just not even like a labor, like just headphones, take a walk. When I feel like coming back, come back.
That's nice.
Play some games, nap in a hammock.
Ah, nice.
Few movies, and then finish the day off with like playing D&D with friends.
Nice. It's nice. I would definitely want to add in a nap to my day. Oh, I love those.
Just like like when you know you have nothing to do, like you finished everything, it's nice. That's
Yeah.
all, and that's why I like the hammock too, because like especially if it's nice outside, you can lay down, hear the birds, conk out, and I don't have to worry about a dog crawling on top of me.
Yeah.
He will
Question
try.
number. Oh, go ahead.
He will try. He is dumb and likes cuddling, but
Question number 5. When did you last sing to yourself, and when did you last sing to someone else?
last night, hey, the song "I'll Make a Man Out of
Out
You"
of
got in my head,
you.
just
Nice.
for some odd reason.
It's an earworm.
Um, and probably like a week ago, I was in the car with a few friends, and "Just a Friend" came on by Biz Markie.
Ah, nice.
There's no way you can't sing that song. Like, I don't know. If you can't sing along even to the chorus, our friendship needs rehab.
Yeah. Educate yourself.
So,
Uh, I last sang to myself in the car on the way here. Today, I had to go drop off some stuff. Not the best part of town, but so I was singing in the car there. The last time I sang to anyone else, I mean, when I was singing in the shower today, I'm pretty sure Bree could hear that. But as far as actually including someone else, I think it would probably be maybe yesterday. Yeah, yesterday when me and Bree have been watching the Golden Girls, and we like to sing the theme song.
I miss theme songs, like actual, like just for the show theme songs.
Yeah, me too. Question number 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
Which 30-year-old? Like me, 30-year-old, or
Yeah, you 30-year-old. Yeah.
or like
Um,
a physically fit third? Like,
yeah, I would imagine it's like, yeah, like you have the physical body of whatever you could achieve at 30, that's what you can do. Like, um, being able to gain and lose weight without turning into like 90 pounds of spare skin, like that type of thing. No, not as many joints or achy pains, no liver spots, that type of thing. But your body, but whatever you can make of it at 30, you have that capability and health until you're through 90, or the mental capacity of yourself at 30 all the way until 90, but your body continues to age as it normally would. And I go first on this one. I'm probably going to have to. It's hard for me because I got mental problems that I know are only going to get worse with age. But my body, I already can't stand my physical limitations right now. When I get to be old to the point where I'm more physically, I'm terrified of that. So I might have to pick body, honestly. How about you?
I'd probably go body as well. Like, My family history, we don't super degrade when we get older. Most of the time when my family dies from when we're older, it's because we've lived shit lives. Chain smokers and drunks, things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'd go body too, because there is it's kind of sad, but I don't know if it's true. I have to, once this lockdown's over, I have to get tested on that one. Because, turns out my grandparents, or their grandparents, someone, has been lying about family lines for a long time. I literally had to get someone to draw out my family tree. Turns out I do have a non-incestuous uncle grandpa. That's a
Oh boy.
that's a fun one. Yeah. Uh, my great grandfather married my biological great grandmother, so he's my step, and his brother married his brother's stepchild. So
Well, speaking of Cartoon Network shows that aren't as good as The Amazing World of Gumball.
yeah, Uncle Grandpa sucks.
Good morning.
How could we do this all in Steven Universe? It's called non-canon.
Fuck. Next question. Question number 7. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? You go first on this one.
Secret hunch on how I will die.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be smart ass about it, there's two way, there's a sad reason and there's a smart ass reason. Smart ass reason is, uh, I don't really. I've tried to remove filters as I've gotten older because I've realized it's really badly affected my personality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if you were there when Nate said this, but he is when asked, he told it. I believe Kyle. I think you were there, and one other person was there. That how I portray Artyom is what my actual personality is like without my filters.
I don't remember that. That's not saying that I wasn't there for when it was said. It's just said
Yeah,
I don't have the mind of a 30-year-old anymore.
It was said very offhandedly. That's why I was trying to. I can't even remember who was in the room, but I remember him saying that because I never really thought about that. Because I tried to play him very off the cuff, very in your face, no filtered, but still kind of friendly. And
Considering all the stuff that RTM did in that campaign, I'm a little worried for your safety.
But I just realized how many filters I've put up to keep myself, because I have really shitty parts of my family where I just bite my tongue and I don't say jack shit while I'm there.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Whatever. Just keep my. It's not because I think they'll argue with me. It's just because I don't want to make a scene or be nasty for no real reason.
Yeah. I've been there before, but it doesn't help anybody.
Well, I don't live near them, so it's only it's only 2 days out of my year.
Yeah.
But I realized even with friends, a lot of the times I'll shut the hell up for a week while I try to feel out where your lines are. Cause you make joke and then you're like, let's see where these boundaries are.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel when I get older, I might go over the removal and say some shit to someone who doesn't want to
want
put up with me.
That reminds me. Very quickly. Dan and I were playing some fucking game for a video, and he told me that he thought I was gonna die because I was gonna say the wrong thing to a cop at the wrong time and get killed.
So.
And he told me that as a friend.
As a friend. As a friend, I think police brutality. That's how you're gonna end.
Oh, fuck. As far as how I think I'm gonna die, I guarantee it's gonna be a fucking heart attack or heart failure or something like that. Unfortunately, my family has a history of heart problems. And while my cholesterol and blood pressure are perfectly fine now, I have a lot of time to deteriorate, and if I don't get this shit under control soon, and even if I do, it is very likely that my last few moments in life are going to be very painful. And that's pretty much a guarantee. That's how I'm going to die.
I'll pile on the sad train.
Oh yeah, you had two answers.
The sad reason, and it ties back to the body thing too, was I look disturbingly like my step-grandfather, so we're not quite sure if Grandma was quite divorced yet before she... And he died of ALS.
Oh, yeah. I remember that's why you wanted to do the ice bucket challenge.
And I already kind of have shakes and body tremor issues, so...
Oh.
That one's due to an iron deficiency, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Bri's family has a few members in it that have dementia, and so, like, and she's very scared of it, so, like, every time she can't remember something right away, she is prone to sometimes having a panic about it. So, just... Don't go too far into making a mountain out of a molehill, but at least keep it in mind whenever you go to a doctor, I guess.
It's one of those things where if I learn, I do. I just have to make the time I have count, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because no one alive can profess to know what happens after we die, but we do know while we're here, that's as long as we're going to be here. So we might as well enjoy it. Question number 8. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. And since I get to go first, I get to state the obvious ones. You and I have in common, we're both overweight, unfortunately. We both have brown hair. And it's not really unfortunate, it just sort of is. And a third thing we have in common is I'm trying to not go for something obvious. I also want to go for something that is kind of surface level but not too obvious, because it's supposed to be something you could tell from a stranger.
Yeah, like something you could tell from like a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah, I think you and I have awareness in common, like awareness of how we're coming across, awareness of the world around us, spatial awareness, that type of thing. We're very cognizant of the world around us and how we're impacting it.
It didn't help with the fucking disgrace on your family episode, though. With James, where you accidentally slammed into the door frame.
Oh, and no, I didn't slam him into a... I slammed him into a chair.
And me and James just assumed it was part of a bit while you were saying.
Oh no, that... Yeah! The fuck? We were doing some fucking radio bit and I... You assholes left me laying on the floor unconscious, making fun of me as I fucking was knocked out on the floor, I think bleeding, And I got to listen to the recording, and you guys be like, "Get up, idiot! I'm gonna steal your shoes." You fuckwads.
Because we thought it was part of the bit.
Yeah, you fucking jackasses.
The best part of that recording is you could tell immediately when we realized you're not getting up.
Oh, Christ. What are 3 things that you and I have in common, Caleb? That we appear to have in common. And you can't say the same shit I said.
Let's see. We seem to have the same tastes in music. Like, I feel like either of us can send songs to the other one, and we won't be like, "What the fuck is this trash?" I'd say the same thing about, like, shows. Like, I tend not to send you things because I know you don't like longer media.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the shows that we do, like, both of us do watch, are nearly identical.
Probably.
Like, we've never really sat down and talked about shows that we actually watch.
We should do that sometime.
Yeah?
Make up a list of our top 10 favorite shows and see which ones we have in common.
And
that sounds like a good idea. I'm going to write that down. That might be on next week's show.
I'll make sure to remember what I'm watching.
Well, I mean, top 10 of all time. And it does include anime. Like, for some reason, some people like, oh, top 10 shows and top 10 anime. Like, why the fuck would you exclude that?
Which I'm excluding it here as well. We're both anime fans, even if just kind of casually to most people.
Oh, so you don't want the list to be shows?
No, it can be. Like, I'm just saying, and we're very casual anime fans, at least to my knowledge.
Like, you're more well-researched than I am, but, like,
I just keep
neither
track
one of us
what
are,
I'm
like,
watching.
Yeah, we're not fanatical about it.
I've met some people who are like, I just watch anime, and I at least watch 2 to 3 shows a day, and I'm like, I can't handle that shit. I couldn't watch a normal show.
I watch every anime in subbed and dubbed.
Just so I know the jokes and the memes.
And in Spanish, and I don't even know Spanish.
Oh. That's a good
4Kids TV was the Antichrist.
Oh god, it really was. They took localization way too far.
I can't wait until Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets rebooted.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are very few shows that I want to see get rebooted, but, like, I didn't think we needed Dragon Ball Super, but I get their point. But, fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! That needs a remake. Away from 4Kids, and with just as much there's destruction and carnage that was in the actual manga.
Yeah, because have you seen Season 0?
I haven't seen Season 0, but I read Season 0. I actually read...
Forbidden Season.
Yeah, I read the manga up until where the show and all that is, and I read it as a kid, and I just remember being like, why is the show not this? This seems like a totally different thing. I remember, like, trying to hide it from my mom that I was reading the manga, but then the show came on, and I was like, fuck, I don't care.
Season 0 is animated. You can watch it in sub.
I know.
But, yeah, it's closer to the anime, like Full Metal Brotherhood. Or, not the anime. Closer to the manga. A reboot like Full Metal Brotherhood.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, what was it? When you read some of the manga on some of the shows we grew up, like, it's a lot darker than
Oh yeah.
Pokemon. And like, everything really dies in Pokemon. Like, there's no
Oh
fate.
yeah, the Pokemon manga is nuts. I still have that image of an Arbok being chopped in half, like engraved in my fucking head. So that's two things. We have similar taste in live action shows and in anime, if you want to be that picky. So what's the third thing? Oh yeah, it was music.
It was music,
shows, and then an anime.
And anime.
Oh, okay. So we'll move on to number 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? And then you go first.
I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it where it makes sense, but I'm just gonna have to explain it.
Yeah.
My inner circle. Well, my immediate family and my close friends.
That's really nice.
I know some of you people might think that those are technically 2 different circles in sociology, but shut up, I'm making it one.
Yeah. Family is who you keep, not who you were given.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm most grateful for, because a lot of the days it kind of gets hard to get through, but then I'll get like rando texts from you or Kyle or Nate or Sam, etc., and they'll just be like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And it just makes the day so much easier.
That's really nice.
Send random texts is the message I'm giving there to listeners. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm not great.
Neither am I.
But it can brighten someone's day.
Oh yeah. I don't want to get morbid here, but I was thinking about it. I am going to say I am probably the most grateful that my suicide attempts failed.
I wouldn't say that's morbid.
Well, it's the reason I say morbid is that I didn't stop myself. I just was unable to do it. I survived due to ineptitude, not through a will to survive. And so in a way, I'm saying that I'm grateful for being incompetent enough to be alive still. But I am. Yeah, it's a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that I'm grateful that at that point in my life I was dumb enough to not have been able to successfully do what I attempted to do, and I attempted multiple times in multiple different ways, but the closest I ever got was I don't know how. I probably shouldn't go into too much detail on this. Point is, I failed because I was physically unable to do what I was desperately trying to do, and because of that, I am here today.
Which I'm thankful for.
Oh, thank you.
I'm also thankful that media sucks at showing, because I was thinking about that. Was that a lot of the time, like, when shows will try to cover stuff like this, they either on accident or purposefully, it depends on the show and how well written, don't correctly show how to do any of these things, or at least the most effective way to do it.
Some of them skirt the lines, but usually you see the person walking in the door, and then you see like a pair of legs around a corner on the floor, and you're like, oh god, that's a dead body in that room, when really it's just someone laying down, but like the show, that person's dead. That reminds me of that line in Family.
Or they'll be tied to something couldn't hold the weight of a small
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. Because I remember a line in Family Guy where I think, I think it was Meg said that she wanted to cut herself, and Lois shouted up basically instructions. I'm not gonna say it, but the joke was.
I know the joke you got. I remember they got in a shitload of trouble for making that joke too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So yeah, not cool. Moving on to number 10. We're gonna have to start speeding this up because we're almost an hour into playing this game and we're not even done with number 10, and there's 36 questions.
All
right. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? Since this is an even number, I start first. If I could change anything about the way I was raised, that is not a short answer. The long and the short of it is practically all of it. If somehow I could wind up with the same friends I have now, but not have been raised anywhere near where I was raised, then that would be preferable. I don't know how that would work, but I wound up with PTSD from my childhood. I would basically call it a wash. Just do over. All of it. Get it out of here. What about you?
That my mom was around more.
Aw.
Yeah. My sister really wanted more materialistic things. So my sister got a childhood where my mom was around a lot. And then my mom just assumed kids wanted that. So when my childhood, she just worked all the time.
Yeah, your sister got a childhood with your mom around, and you got a childhood with your mom paying for it.
When I would rather be poor with my mom around than middle class with no one.
Well, you're with her now, and I guess that's some consolation.
That's true.
Yeah. Number 11. Remember, I'm going to stop saying it because it's annoying me. You go first on the odd numbers. I go first on the even numbers.
Okay.
So number 11. Take 4 minutes. God damn it. Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. Well, you and I know each other's life stories. I don't know how we would... how about this? You get 10 seconds. Tell your life story in 10 seconds. I will time you, and I'll time myself because I'll have the stopwatch up. So, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Born in Tacoma,
Go.
Moved to Kansas when I was about 5. I was put into private school, spent most of my time. I am working with...
Stop.
Yeah, there you go. Spent most of my time working. Since the day I was born to the day that I die. Which I guess
you say as a retired 25-year-old.
Which I guess isn't kind of a lie, given my first job was at 12. So.
Damn, that is... Yeah. By the way, your birthday is next week, ain't it?
Yes. 6 days.
Your birthday is on the day we would be recording. Do you want us to move that so you don't have to record it?
My mom is planning something, and I'm sure my sister will be Zooming, Skyping, Discord, whatever the hell.
Yeah. So we'll record a different day that week. We'll figure it out. So I got 10 seconds to tell my life story. It's like the ultimate survivor challenge for me.
I got you timed.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready.
I was waiting for you to say go.
Oh,
just start.
Sorry. Tell me when to start.
All right, go.
I was born in Emporia, raised in Admiral for the first 16 years of my life, then we moved to Kansas City, where it was the first social interactions I've ever had. I developed from there, met Bri. Now, there you go. That's basically where I am now.
Kansas City, Missouri, mess free. That's where I am at.
Yeah, I met Bri, and the only part that's left out is that I moved. So there we go. That was a fun little take on that. Number 12. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one ability or quality, what would it be? Should we exclude like superpowers?
Yeah. I was thinking about that. If this was meant superpowers or like normal.
Yeah, because if it was superpowers, it'd just be broken. Any one quality or ability. If I would say, I would choose quality, and I would choose the quality of perfect health.
Just you out there selling vitamins now.
Yeah. Drink my blood, it will make you pure.
Non-FDA approved.
Yeah. FDA confused. They're like, it works, but we don't know how.
I guess this would be... I don't know if this is an ability or a quality, but, corporate veracity.
Yeah?
Like, that kind of, I can climb the corporate ladder and get to the top really easily. Because of personality or... Because I do know people like that, where they're very, extremely lazy. But they can climb that fucking corporate ladder like nobody's goddamn business.
Very nice.
And I just feel like that would make life pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. Get some cushy COO job, and there you go. Just land on a board of directors somewhere and just
all
never
I have to
do
worry
a day
about
of work.
is making money. That's my job.
Number 13. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
That's a weird question. Like,
yeah. If a crystal ball could tell you any truth.
If you get the future, it's not like you can... That's destiny shit. It's not like you can change it. So if it's horrific, you just gotta sit back and enjoy the ride.
Someday my head's gonna explode. Hope it's not tomorrow. I've got a hat fitting.
If yourself is, like, can be painful, like, no one really likes looking in that mirror.
Yeah. It says anything else. So just any truth about anything.
Conspiracies. I would want to know which, like, a list at the end, like, just explains to me anything that was, like, all of those whacked out theories. If it was like, this is vaguely true, this is why. Even if they were buried and long dead with everyone who was affiliated with them.
I think it means you get to know one thing.
Alright. Aliens. I'll go with aliens.
Okay. That's fair.
Where are they? What they doing?
That's a very good one. And an answer, because that's very tempting to say for me too. I would say the truth of the human condition. You know, not so much the meaning of life, but like, is there a soul? Is there an afterlife? What happens when we die? That type of thing. The truth of the human condition.
So naughty enough. Well, I think it's Doctor Who that said that was a rule against time travel. You can't go to the beginning. It's against the rules.
Number 14. Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? And if so, why haven't you done it? Yes. Yes, there is. I have wanted to be a voice actor, and I haven't done it because I keep telling myself I don't have the proper equipment. I probably could make this equipment work, but it seems every time I'm about to get started, there's some sort of roadblock, and then I let that roadblock become a road mountain, and I keep getting in my own way and making a mountain out of a molehill, and that's basically it. What about you?
Yes. Yes, I am currently trying to do it. The reason I'm not doing it is because I was a jackass when I was younger.
And, damn, what is it?
It's get my higher education and try to, be a productive member of society. Again.
Ah, yes.
Kids,
yeah.
I know high school sucks, but it really sucks when you have to play catch up with everyone else who's your age.
Yeah. Well, I'll make you a deal. I won't pursue a bachelor's degree until you get your associates.
Well, thank you. I don't want to hold you back, but I appreciate.
I'm not trying to get a bachelor's degree. But I've thought about it. Well, I've thought about it. I've thought about getting a bachelor's in theater or communications or in something like that. But I can't go to school right now. I sure as shit wouldn't try. And you're not far from getting an associate's anyway.
But what we said really does harken back to what Viv talked about Mr. Hamilton. Like, really that leap of faith. I made one to get back into school. Because before I did this, I was on track to be able to buy a house. Not anymore. But that leap of faith really is daunting. And sometimes you just need to hit that wall of this sucks and I need to do something to change it. Or I have the ability or willpower to take it.
Yeah, rock bottom is a hell of a motivator. I wouldn't say you were at rock bottom, but you saw the signs.
Yeah.
The best investment
workday was definitely a sign of rock bottom.
Yeah. The best investment you could ever make is an investment in yourself or a handgun. Anyway, Apple in 1999.
I'm choosing to believe that's the joke of today I got a car, $500, and the newest gaming system. It's like this gun is magic.
Yeah. Number 15. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? We're really getting into the deep bit of it now.
Yeah. Greatest accomplishment of my life. See, that's fucking hard to ask nihilistic millennial.
Yeah, it is. makes you think.
I'd have to say it was supporting people when I did work where I worked. I got a phone call recently from one of my old coworkers who told me it was because of my support and helping him and one of the other employees that they got better jobs and he didn't let the world sink its teeth into him, and it was nice. And I feel like that me actively trying to help someone even when I didn't really think about it seemed to have changed at least two people's lives for the better.
That is awesome, man. That's really great. I'm really proud of you for that, too.
But that's my answer. So.
Yeah. My greatest accomplishment. Um, it's hard for me to pick, but I
got multiple.
well, no, it's not because I have so many to pick from. It's because every one I want to pick has an argument that it wasn't. But at the risk of being poetic, I would have to say that my greatest accomplishment was the day I decided to try to start getting better. It was a day where I finally said that I deserved better than what I had been doing with my life, and in terms of health, what I was doing, my ambition, how I spent my time, what I ate, what I drank, who I was around, I deserved better than what I was doing. I believed that I was worth more than what I had been giving myself, and that's not something that I went from trying to kill myself because I didn't think I was worth anything to thinking that I was worth a life better than that. And I just lost Caleb on a phone call, so I'm gonna call him back right in the middle of this super emotional moment.
Oh, that's so fucking terrible.
It's pretty sad. Hope his phone didn't die.
Call dropped.
His phone didn't die, fortunately. We're good. He hung up on me. Oh, Lord. I hope he's okay.
Vivian.
But a bit of a loss of words here. Oh, there he is. There you are.
Sorry, call dropped. I was like, oh no, that's the worst time for the
It was ooh.
No, it was not on purpose. I was sitting here listening and I hear I'm just like,
yeah.
That's a universal joke right there. That's some cosmic shit.
Yeah. I'll take that as a cosmic sign to move the fuck on. Number 16. What do you value most in a friendship? And this is pertinent considering we've been friends for a long time now. Ups and downs, plenty. For me, I'd say what I value most in a friendship is I don't want to say patience.
Thank God I have that in spades.
Yeah. It's certainly something I need, but from a friend, but I would say the thing I value most in a friendship is empathy. Because not only is that something that I feel like more people need to practice in general, but I'm someone who needs a lot of it, but also someone who values it a lot in someone else. So I'd probably go with empathy.
Laughter. I don't feel like there's I feel like a lot of things, like friendships or whatnot, can go through ups and downs. But as long as the laughter is pure and shared, that friendships can get through pretty much everything.
I like that. Number 17. What is your most treasured memory? This is going to be a tough one.
I'm assuming it doesn't mean with this person because we're supposedly only supposed to know each other for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say just of your life in general.
My most treasured memory, it's, I guess, a childhood trauma, but it's so funny, like, in retrospect.
Okay.
And that was uh, my friend Gavin and I were building a fort in, like, we lived in duplexes, so we got permission from the owner of the whole thing to build in, like, this weird little island, like, where cars would drive around. And because she didn't care. She was like, as long as you don't put anything weird, or you can hang out in there and do whatever.
That's cool.
And one of the things we did was we were like, we learned that back in the olden days, people would put shit like in a hole to keep it cold.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have money, but we were like, oh, we could keep like snacks we steal from our houses to down there.
Oh no.
And some kids, younger kids, tried to bully us out of where of our fort, and we were like, you didn't get permission, you can fuck off. And Gavin had the idea of scaring them. So he told me, he said, they're coming, fall backwards. I did not hear him, and he hit me in the face with the shovel. And I fell into essentially an open grave. As he proceeded to bury me. And told the kids that if they came around, they would end up in the hole too.
I remember this. I remember you telling me this. Oh, God.
But they ran away. He helped me out of the hole. And I had to explain why I had a whole face bruise.
Christ.
But that's my most treasured memory, because that's like one of those childhood memories you can't really make up.
Yeah. I think my most treasured memory is probably going to be a bit more simple. It's probably going to be when I asked Bri to marry me.
Aww.
Yeah.
Gag.
I mean, yeah. Just wait till I get down there. I'll gag you for.
Don't know what you're talking about. I am a good Christian boy.
And a top at that. Number 18. Oh. What is your most terrible memory? My most terrible memory is not one that I feel at liberty to tell in its entirety. I can basically describe what happened to my head at the time. It was the biggest example in my childhood that I was aware of, even when it happened, of having lost control to my schizophrenia. Damn near constantly through my high school time, I experienced basically hiding behind my other personalities in order to have confidence that I really didn't have, and they chose to do some really not okay things. But this happened back in Admire, and I'm not going to say what I did. I don't even feel comfortable saying that I did it, because I was there, but I was not the one deciding what my body did. But it's something that I can't bear to think on any longer than this. So it's a bit of a cop-out, but I basically told you what happened to my head, and that's as close as I can get to describing what actually happened.
Because I think that's more for the viewers, because we've discussed some of the things, but I don't know if
I know damn well, yeah.
One.
I have told one person this ever. So And not, it's not that I don't think I could trust you with the knowledge, it's that I can't talk about it. It's too terrible. So what about you, Caleb? Feel free to cop out if you want to as well.
My worst memory, I'd have to say, isn't like, I've had cringy fucking memories, but
I remember one.
I feel like the worst memory I still hold is the day I lost like 90% of my friend group due to one thing that was out of my control.
Was that the box?
No.
Oh no, you didn't lose 90% of your friend group. You just lost me.
When I was a kid, we were playing a game. I want to say dodgeball, and someone threw, because I know it wasn't me. I know I got blamed for it. It hit one of the. I wouldn't really even call him my friend. Someone's and on the block's little sister, and then I got blamed for it, and then I got shunned because his dad was an asshole. And even today, if I was an adult, I would have kicked his ass for being nasty to kids that aren't his. Like,
yeah, I'd be right there with you.
Like, I understand takes a village, but you can't be nasty to children who aren't yours. And even children who are, you have to. I feel like that's a fine line of where you can go.
Damn straight.
But because of that, I lost like 8 friends all at once within the day.
Jesus.
And I can tell you for sure that's the moment I stopped planning on talking to any of my neighbors. I've had neighbors that lived near me for almost a decade. I cannot tell you what one of their names are.
I don't blame you.
But that would be my worst memory.
I'm sorry that happened, man. In an effort to not dwell, moving swiftly on to number 19. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living, and why?
Some Unis honest shit right here.
Yeah. You were first on odd ones. Yeah, so, yeah. I had to remind myself.
Yeah, this is odd? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 19.
I would probably, like, it's fine and easy to say, like, oh, I'd just start doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I would try to live more in the moment. Like, I wouldn't be scared of, like, well, if I say something to them, then I could be, like, creepy or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, just fuck it. Like, I'm gonna die in a year anyway. If I go to...
Yeah.
If I get sent to jail because I said something weird and didn't really think about it, fuck it. It's a new experience.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would just try to be more outgoing, like, in the community and with other people. Like, there's another weird thing. Like, I say that because I was like, I try to, like, get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, but then I'm like, that's just douchey. Like, hey, I romanced you. I'm dying in a year.
Yeah, it's some Deadpool shit.
But yeah, I'd just try to be, like, I'd stop letting, like, the general social fear, or just try to push myself through it to do things. Like, I've always wanted to do adventure leagues. There's an adventure league literally walking distance from my house. Might as well do it.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. I would be very much in the same, like, the thing for me is that I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't be like, oh, I'll take all the money in my savings and blow it on hookers and blow. Like, I couldn't. It's just, I live with someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with, and if I live for only one more year, then I want to spend that time with her. So ideally, I would do my best to see everyone in my life as much as I can. Try to take all those days where I'm at home doing nothing and try to see if I can afford to take a short trip down to Kansas or to North Dakota to see my mom, or make time for phone calls to talk to people when I can't go, or to try to have fun, or see if I can do something with Bree, who has suddenly walked into the room and is totally not the reason I'm saying this. And but yeah, and that would all be coupled with a mindset to basically with what you described, which is, I'm not gonna worry about if I offend some dick at the Walmart. Like, I'm gonna live and do my best to make the time I have left as eventful as possible, because you only got that time. So there you go.
Also, I'm gonna, if it's magically we learn about this and not through, a doctor tells you life insurance. Fuck life insurance.
That'd be good. That's good. I agree.
Crazy amount of life insurance.
Yeah. I remember there was a story about this, this serial insurance fraud person who she was married to a guy, and he had 2 life insurance policies that overlapped for one day, and that's the day she killed him.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, and, she supposedly, burned alive in her house, and then they found out that the body was not her.
It wasn't her, yeah. It's nuts.
And this was all in, the 1800s. This was hard to...
Yeah. So number 20. What does friendship mean to you? Friendship to me means a loyal and joyous support, and equal footing, but not equal mindset. Because you don't have to just be friends with people you agree with. You should always be suspicious of people who claim to know everything and to agree with you with everything.
I have a constant list of people I feel like will kill me at any moment.
How many times have I been on that list?
Not really.
Note the lack of answer. Oh, okay.
No, I just remembered that clip from Game Grumps.
Oh, yeah.
Danny didn't want to tell him, and he was like, if I tell you, it will change where you are on it.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, to me, that's what it means. Being there, enjoying being there for each other, not just letting them get away with anything, but also understanding mistakes and being there to support them, that type of thing. And hopefully joyful while all the while.
Yeah. I'd say a friendship is someone who you can talk to, laugh with, and, even if have to be, enjoy the silence, just hanging out in the same room. You don't even have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Just
totally agree.
Reading a book, watching YouTube.
Yeah. Number 21. We might have to...
Oh, yeah.
What is half of 36?
I think that's,
That'd be 30... That'd be 23? What? 18.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just on the other side of halfway done, but we've been going for 2.5 hours, and my back started to give me warning signs. So, what say we continue from number 21 next time?
All right.
All right, so let me write that down. Number 21 and up. as well as listing our top 10 shows. If we can fit them both in. We'll do it with the questions first, see how long that takes. If we can do both, cool. If not, we'll do the list next time. But I'll have my list ready for then, just in case.
Okay. I will make up my list.
Yeah. Well, thank you all very much for listening to this week's edition of All of the Above. Hopefully, we're recording this a day later, so this might come out a bit later. We'll see what should happen. Either way, I'm glad we're having more fun doing these, because again, the current event thing was just so fucking depressing. But
there's a lot more laughter and random talking in this now.
Yeah, and I love it. So, next week we will be recording on a different day, because next week Caleb will be turning how old?
26.
26! My boy is getting older.
I'm closer to 30 than 20.
Oh, man. So, whenever the next show happens, it will happen. I know we're going to record an episode with us in the same room when I'm down there. And by the next show, we should know when I'll be down there too. So that's exciting. I'm not gonna lie, the lack of giddy excitement that no one has responded to me going on this trip other than me
it's
with
all
giddy
a
excitement.
Conspiracy just to get in your head, like.
Yeah.
Like everyone got together and was like, "Hey, you can't be happy. You just got to be like, yeah."
Don't act like we give a shit that he's showing up. He's been gone for a year. We don't want him to think we want him to come back next year.
No, I am glad you're coming. I swear. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to take up more time. We're trying to wrap up.
Well, I've told you this before. Anyway, sorry. Thank y'all very much for watching and listening, I guess, to this episode of All of the Above. Come next week, whenever it comes out, it will. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Viv.
And I'm Caleb.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. I feel like with Viv, I should go with Cal. Cal and Viv, or Viv and Cal. Vivical? Vivical sounds like a pill.